Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Brandon Bear here on the JTC YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for all the support. We just hit 121,000 subscribers. You guys are freaking amazing. Let's just hop right into this video. We're bringing you back to the 5 types or 5 list videos. If you like these, make sure to leave a like, make it thick, make it plump, and a little spicy for your boy Pop.
Oh boy! Hey!
I already know there's going to be a bunch of people in the comments saying, dude, you can't do a combat deployment in the Navy if you're not a SEAL or Spec Ops or yada yada yada. You guys have no idea what you're talking about. I was involved in Operation Enduring Freedom on the USS Lincoln. We were sent over to the Persian Gulf, the 5th Fleet. We were in there for about 6 months. It was a total of a 9-month deployment. So yeah, we were in the Persian Gulf doing combat flight operations, providing air support for troops on the ground.
The Iranians have also threatened to close the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow opening to the Persian Gulf that tankers use to carry about 20% of the world's oil. Iran has warned the U.S. to keep the Navy out of there, but today a battle group led by the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln crossed through the strait and into the Gulf.
I worked up on the flight deck, launching and recovering aircraft and helicopters, any NATO aircraft. I did receive imminent danger pay and hazardous duty pay. So that's my experience. Right before we hop into this video, I do have a 20% off code for you guys that you can use on the website until the end of this month. You can use it on anything, on the anchor bracelets, on merch, shirts, sweatshirts, whatever. So the code will be somewhere around here, and let's get it.
Our favorite songs on the record play.
All right, so number one, when you're over there in the Persian Gulf or in a combat area at sea, unfortunately, if one of your family members passes away, like a grandparent, aunt, uncle, a really good best friend back at home, they're not going to let you off of the ship. The only way you're going to be able to get flown off the ship when you're in a combat area is if it's a, first generation relative, like your brother, your sister, your mom, or your dad, or your, like your wife or husband or child. Your family does have to send a Red Cross message so you can get flown off of the ship. So in this instance, in the Persian Gulf, they would either cod you off in a Greyhound, or they will fly you off in a Hilo, either a Sierra or a Romeo. But unfortunately, like I said, if it's a uncle, aunt, grandparent, someone like that, best friend, they will not let you go home for the funeral and for the ceremonies. Has to be, mom, dad, brother, sister, child, wife.
Your love gets me so high.
All right, so for number 2, what's a lot different than a combat deployment versus a regular deployment is we're gonna run out of water. A lot of times you're not going to be able to do your laundry for sometimes 2 to 3 days. You're going to be having to wear the same skivvies, the same clothes, the same undershirts, sometimes 2-3 days in a row. You might also have to scrub it off in the sink. The showers are going to be secured. The laundry room is going to be secured. You're going to have to baby wipe yourself for 2 or 3 days. A lot of times as well, we're going to run out of a lot of food. We're not going to be able to do as many vert reps and replenishments at sea. So the lettuce is going to be brown. The food selection is going to be pretty much like prison. I mean, not like prison, a little better than prison. But the food selection is going to be very, very, very poor. Stuff is going to be going old, brown. Fruit's going to be bad. Lettuce is going to be bad. Really, really basic meals like mush. Yesterday's dinner is tomorrow's lunch is the next day's mid-rats. So you're not going to be able to do as many replenishments out at sea, especially when you're in the 5th Fleet. When you're not in a place like the Persian Gulf or a combat area, you're not going to be out to sea for like 50 days, 60 days in a row. We would normally be out to sea for around 50 days before we'd pull into port. Normally you're only out to sea for 20 to 30 days before you pull into a port, even like 15, 20 days. But in the Persian Gulf, we were out there for, 50 days, and then we pull into port, go out again for 50 days, and pull into port, then another 50 days.
Like when we're listening to Bob Marley, and you can feel it in the melody. Yeah.
Number 3, you will not be able to contact your family for several days, sometimes a week, maybe 2 weeks. They're not going to let the pay phones go out. They're not going to let calls go out or in. They're also not going to let emails go out or in. You're not going to have access to the computers. There's a thing called River City. I don't remember if it's River City 1 where everything's locked down or River City 4. It's one end of the spectrum where it's really, really bad. If you hear River City in general, that means everything's shut down, no communications. We're probably doing combat flight operations or something's going down, some mission, and it could be several days in a row where you're not going to be able to contact with your family, sometimes even weeks.
He's got us singing like, oh, 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 you know we got the feeling right.
All right, number 4, what is also different of a combat deployment than a regular deployment at sea is that we will have a lot of times a no-fly zone, specifically in the Straits of Hormuz. When you go from the Arabian Sea to the Persian Gulf, there's a thing called the Straits of Hormuz, and we cannot fly fixed-wing aircraft. It's a no-fly zone. We were only allowed to fly helicopters.
Helicopters patrol the flanks. The Iranian Navy is no match for the vast firepower of the Americans, but they're not helpless, Captain Don Gabrielson says.
The biggest concern out here is just the number of small, fast attack craft that the Iranians have built up over the last 20 years. They have, a couple thousand of them available.
So basically the whole flight deck is secure, the whole ship is secure, all the hatches are battened down. We're getting ready for an altercation, possibly when we're going through there. Iran is always threatening us and messing with us. So we only have our helicopters that are protecting the fleet. Normally we'll have Hellfire missiles on them. We'll have 50 cals, I think sometimes even torpedoes in certain areas. But it's really awesome for me being part of a helicopter squadron because the flight deck is empty. It's a ghost town. There's normally, tons and tons and tons of people and commotion and action. It's literally all shut down besides helicopters. There's me and maybe, 7 to 8 other people only on the flight deck. Me and 7 or 8 other people and our helicopters that are basically there to protect the strike group as we transit the straits. We have the destroyer, we have the cruiser, we have probably a submarine down there somewhere. And then for air support, it's only the helos. All right, this last one, number 5, if you pull into a port when you are in a combat area like Bahrain or Dubai, we pulled into Bahrain twice and we pulled into Dubai twice. So when we pulled into Bahrain twice, I believe one of the times we weren't allowed to leave the base. Tensions were really high in the area. There was an MWR, there was a bus that left the base, and there was like some pot shots, gunfire, like shot towards the bus in the area. No one got hit. I don't think the bus got hit, but there were bullets fired, and we were stuck on the base for those 4 days in port. But yeah, guys, those are the 5 things that you can't do when you're on a Navy combat deployment. Like I said, a lot of people are gonna have their own opinions on what a combat deployment is, but for the Navy specifically, when we were a part of Operation Enduring Freedom and sent over there to the 5th Fleet, that is considered a hazardous duty and imminent danger area. And on my eval, I can literally show you my evals. It says OEF combat deployment. But yeah, everyone has their own opinions. I'm just telling you guys the facts, straight up. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, if you made it to the end, make sure you left a thick like and make it plump. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Brand new videos every day. I'm back on the grind, trying to pump out daily videos. We're on the road to 200,000 subscribers. My analytics are saying that we can hit 200K in as little as like 5 to 6 months. I think we can do it quicker. As always, all my social medias are below. Everything's at JT Suits, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. Remember, the 20% off code as well is loyalty20. Use it. It will be good until the end of the month. You could use it on anything. The Anchor Biscuits merch, t-shirts, gear, accessories. All right, good boy. See ya. Oh, good boy. Where's my boy Papa? Where's my man with a very good plan? Great. Hello, Petey. Did you get a haircut? You're looking pretty cool, Gray. You got a nice haircut. Wow. So freaking gorgeous. Your coat is amazing. Dude, you're such a pretty dog. Yeah, you know it. Don't get all bashful. You know it, girl. Yeah. Yo, I want to give a huge shout out real quick to my boy Daniel Gordon for becoming the newest Patreon pledge. Thanks so much, brother. I really appreciate the pledge, Daniel. And also want to give some shout outs to the newest channel members. We got a bunch of new channel members on yesterday's live stream. So first we got my boy Nero, Nero Edits. We got Brandon Willis. We have Half Keith Who. Sorry if dude, your name is I do not know how to say your name, bro, but I think it's Half Keith Hu. We got Cam Cooper. We got Katie Wright and Tristan White. Katie Wright and Tristan White. Thank you guys so much for becoming channel members. And again, thank you, Daniel, for becoming the newest Patreon pledge. If you guys want to check out my Patreon, I am going to be doing 2 Patreon-only live streams a month. And there's a bunch of other cool options and perks you can get and check out. And yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of this clip. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.